This is Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, presented by the Bearded Irish Brewing Company, here to recap LSU's win over South Carolina in the SEC tournament, that coming by a 10-3 score, and also to unpack some implications for both teams based on some things that happened today. So let's start with LSU. You get 2 hits from Dylan Cruz and a walk, so he reaches base 3 times out of the leadoff spot. You got Brayden Jobert hits the only home run for LSU on the day. The offense was really good, which it has been all season. 12 hits and 7 walks for the Tigers. But I think the bigger thing for LSU was the pitching. Now, Thatcher Hurd has been a guy who's been up and down for the Tigers. If you remember that Georgia game, I think it was on a Thursday night. Georgia is down 2 runs. Hurd is on the mound to close it out in Athens. He gives up 2 bombs, and Georgia ties the game, sends it to extra innings. And for a guy whose confidence has wavered, that being Thatcher Hurd, that was a spot where it was sort of sink or swim. Hurd ended up getting through that, I think, in 5 innings, and LSU hangs on to win in the end. And that really gave, I think, Thatcher Hurd a boost of confidence. Well, carry that into today. Thatcher Hurd goes 5 1/3 innings, gives up 3 earned runs, one of them a home run to Ethan Petry. And I think if you pitched in the SEC with any amount this year, you've probably given up a home run to Ethan Petry. He does that to a lot of people. But the overall line, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 4 hits, certainly very acceptable for LSU. If LSU can get that kind of start out of Thatcher Hurd or someone else, outside of Paul Skeens, that's a team that's going to be in Omaha, because the way those teams, or the way LSU scores runs, nobody's going to beat those guys. And then I think another plus for the Tigers, Nate Ackenheusen, their JUCO lefty, comes in, throws 3 2/3 scoreless. Now, he was kind of running on fumes at the end, threw a ball behind a batter, just was not hitting the strike zone with regularity, but he had enough to finish the game out. And that's something you want to see in this kind of tournament. You want to see a guy who goes multiple innings, and LSU throwing 2 guys with at least 2 more games to go was exactly what you wanted to see if you're Coach Jay Johnson. For South Carolina, Ethan Petry, as we said, hits a home run. The pitching wasn't good, but I think the biggest thing from this one was Cole Messina leaving the game, I don't know, middle of 4th inning, something like that, with what might have been a head injury. They looked like the umpire maybe called to the dugout or said something that he wasn't acting right. That was speculation from TV. I didn't hear the follow-up on that, but they literally removed him from the game in the middle of his defensive inning, in the middle of an at-bat, and that's not good. Hopefully there's nothing to it. Maybe if it's a concussion, it's something he's over in a week or 2, but my goodness, no team in the SEC, other than maybe Arkansas, or Vanderbilt, has been hit more with the injury bug. I think it's those 2 teams the most. If you want to go injuries of significance, Vandy might be in there because of the pitching staff. But I think even so, Arkansas and South Carolina have been more banged up, especially in number. And losing Messina, who's a first-team All-SEC catcher, a phenomenal hitter, that really is going to leave a mark if he's gone any amount of time. So adding injury to insult, Carolina loses a first-team All-SEC guy in the middle of the game, and we'll see where that stands. I want to go into some seeding implications for the NCAA tournament for both these teams and look forward in just a minute. First, a word from our sponsor, the Bearded Irish Brewing Company, home to Black Dynasty's secret ramen house. You'll find a wide variety of comforting bowls of meaty and vegan-friendly ramen with house-made noodles alongside rotating weekly features, seasonal sides, salads, and desserts. Check them out in their West Nashville location and tell them you heard about them on our channel at Southeastern 14. Okay, South Carolina is going to play the loser of this afternoon's Arkansas-Texas A&M game. Of course, LSU will get the winner of that. One more loss, Carolina's done. LSU has got 2 losses to play with. And looking forward to the NCAA tournament, I don't really think this changes anything for LSU. I had LSU as a 4 seed coming in nationally, probably going to be the same. For South Carolina, I have South Carolina in my regional projections as a host. I may not be in the majority there, but I think if you look at the resume, the only reason you wouldn't put Carolina in is because it says SEC. And let me run through the numbers as they stand after this game. in terms of the things the committee will look at. Okay. RPI, Carolina has dropped from 5 to 6. Strength of schedule, though, gets bumped up a couple notches to 3. Non-conference RPI 8. Strength of schedule there in non-conference 360. Now, here's the problem. 5 and 10 in the last 15. That is going to be the thing that if something sinks the Gamecocks, it'll be that. If you look a little bit further, though, top-heavy metrics are pretty good. 10 and 14 against the top 25 in the RPI, 10 and 1 against 26 to 50. Look on down the line, 2 and 2 against 51 to 100, 3 and 0 against 101 to 150, and plus. If you want to make an argument that Carolina had some easy games, sure, go right ahead. It did, but still, even with those games, number 3 strength of schedule. I would put Arkansas in, of course. I would also put South Carolina in the tournament as a host. Ben McDonald had, I thought, a good explanation in this late innings. He said, really, the only reason you don't put them in is if they're in the SEC, because you take that resume, you put it other places. Frankly, you take that team and put it other places. The conference record is probably going to be better than it wound up being, but we'll see what the committee thinks. I think if Carolina won today, maybe if Carolina gets one more somewhere else, the Gamecocks end up hosting. I think they should regardless, but I think if you want to feel better about it, you need to get another win in this tournament, and we'll see if the Gamecocks can get that against either Arkansas or Texas A&M. Certainly beating Arkansas, I think, would help if that's your opponent. All right, thank you for watching all our content here at Southeastern 14. We cover football, basketball, and baseball in the SEC. Best way to get our content, hit the subscribe button, enable your notifications so you see when we have new videos up, and hit the like button. That helps our analytics and helps us get noticed a little bit too. All right, I'm Chris Lee for Southeastern 14, presented by the Bearded Iris Brewing Company. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon with more SEC baseball content.